Welcome back, colleagues. This is Learn Extra Teacher Talk. My name is John, and today in the studio I have Megan Rademeyer from SchoolNet South Africa. We're going to be discussing the Partners in Learning Network and what the components of that is. First of all, Megan, why don't you please tell me, what do you do at SchoolNet and how do you get involved in Partners in Learning?
Hi John, thanks for having me. SchoolNet's a not-for-profit NGO that aims to empower teachers to use technology to improve teaching and learning. So we do a lot of work for different sponsors, and one of them is Microsoft, that has the Partners in Learning program. There are a number of aspects to this program, and SchoolNet's involved in their teacher training, running their Partners in Learning forum, and we also like to promote their Partners in Learning network.
Okay, so Partners in Learning, what the network, can we go and look at some examples, what teachers can get from the Partners in Learning network?
Sure, let's have a look at the Partners in Learning network. It's recently been revamped and I think it looks great. It's free for teachers to join, to sign up, and once they're there, they have access to a range of great free tools that they can use in their classroom to make learning more exciting.
So here we're on the website, and there, as you said, there are a whole lot of free tools, but you want us to zone in on some of those particularly.
Sure. If you look here at the free tools section, you'll see it says Get the Learning Suite, over 20 of our most popular software tools and teacher resources in one easy download.
I want to just highlight that. So there we go on that particular section.
And if teachers go there, they'll see there are these great tools. They're all free to download, and they're very easy to use in the classroom. If you'd like, I can show you some of the tools, and I can give you some great examples of where teachers have used these to make their lessons more fun.
Okay, so let's go to a PowerPoint presentation that you've got for us on these free tools, and we'll just open up. And there we go. Do you want to drive it? And you can just click forward when you want to mention it.
Sure. As we saw already, there are over 20 of these tools. If a teacher goes there, they'll see there's some resources that they can read, some great ideas for their classroom, and there are also these fantastic tools. So one of them that I really like is the Windows Live Movie Maker application, as well as Photo Story. If teachers have taken some photos, taken some video clips, and want to put these into a nice little presentation, this is really easy to do. Even teachers with very basic computer skills can teach this to themselves, and they can use it. And then once you know how to use it, there are great things you can do in the classroom. If we look at some examples here, we can see some primary school learners put together photo stories to explain what they thought made South Africa special, and they then shared what they had made on the Join Hands wiki space. So they weren't just creating something, they were then also sharing it with other learners.
And it wasn't just about teacher-driven tools then, it's something that the learners were learning about too.
Well, exactly. It gave them an opportunity to both reflect on what they thought was great about South Africa and to share it with others, but also to learn a tool at the same time and to have fun putting together their photo stories. Here's another example where high school life sciences students put together short little infomercials explaining some or other aspect of HIV/AIDS. So again, taking a topic that they needed to cover as part of their curriculum, but by having fun using the tool, thinking of how they could convey that information, they were both learning the content and learning skills of how to put information across at the same time.
And so in that way, you're also getting into more higher level critical thinking because they had to engage with the content in a more interactive way.
Oh, definitely.
Rather than just sitting passively and listening. And
in fact, the teacher who ran this project with her learners, she said that by the time learners get to high school, they've done HIV/AIDS so many times before that they think they know everything, and they sort of see the topic as being quite dull. And by using the technology in the lesson, she was able to bring it to life and sort of say, well, if you think you know so much, now use this opportunity to share what you know with others. So it really was engaging those higher order thinking skills.
And in addition, you mentioned that the primary school stuff was published onto a blog, so it had a wider community appeal as well. And I'm sure the high school teachers could do that as well to educate people in the surrounding community.
Well, definitely. You know, when a learner feels that what they are producing is actually being done for a genuine purpose and for a genuine audience, they're actually put some effort into it, and they want to make sure that they've produced a quality product. If they think they're only doing something because they've got to, it's for a mark, and the only person who's going to look at it is their teacher, they maybe won't be as engaged and inspired as if they feel that what they're doing has a genuine purpose and audience.
Sure. Okay, another one?
Another example, these high school history learners put together photo stories explaining the effects of the various apartheid laws. So again, taking something that they were covering in class, but using technology to really bring the topic to life. And they really created some moving photo stories that really showed that they had engaged with the topic.
Sure.
So that's just one tool that's available on the Partners in Learning network. But here's another really fun one. This one's Songsmith. If you download the application, it allows you to choose what style of music you like. So reggae, hip hop, rock and roll, and the computer will play a beat for you, and you then sing along to that beat, and then you're able to play the little song that you created back, and it has music accompanying your voice. If I was a little braver, I would demonstrate it for you, John, but I'm hoping your teachers will download this application and give it a whirl.
And they could integrate then the audio with the movie that they've made, possibly.
Oh, absolutely. We've had some learners put together great little songs. And sort of add those into their photo story, or sort of to go along with something they'd created in Movie Maker. But as a teacher, there are great ways you can use this. If you're trying to teach learners something that they have to learn by rote, so maybe elements on the periodic table or the names of the bones in the body, if you got them to make a song up that included what they had to learn, it would be a great way of triggering their memory and getting them to remember that content. Or else for an English teacher, if you wanted the learners to create an advertising jingle, you know, they could do that using Songsmith and could really have great fun.
And in addition, I'm sure that these tools are then also catering for learners with different learning styles.
Oh, definitely. You know, with the photo story, with the Songsmith, learners who are engaged by music or who are visual learners have opportunities to do the thing that they're good at.
Sure.
So that learning is not just about what you can produce in words and hand in as a written essay, but an opportunity to express yourself in other ways.
Sure. Okay, is there another example you want to show us?
There's also the Worldwide Telescope, which is a fantastic tool. Basically, it stitches together imagery taken from a range of different telescopes, and you can use it to pan across the night sky and focus in on stars or planets that you're particularly interested in. So teachers who are doing space as a theme would find this a great resource and an opportunity for learners to really experience the wonder of space. It almost gives you a bit of a planetarium-like experience, but from your own computer. And
you don't have to go on a road trip to...
Well, exactly.
Or get out of the city to see what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a great tool and really worth teachers who are covering that topic downloading and trying out. Here's another one, Auto Collage. We all know how to make a collage, you know, with bits of photos or sort of pictures clipped from magazines, and you glue it all together. Auto Collage does much the same thing, but it does it electronically. You put the photos that you want to include in your collage in a folder. You select that folder, push a button, and it swirls all of those images into a finished product. So this is a great tool. I've got some examples here. you know, if learners have gone on an outing or there's been a function at the school and lots of photos have been taken and you're battling to select, you know, one or two to include in a newsletter or perhaps in a school magazine, you could make an auto collage showing a number of photos all collaged together. Or if teachers wanted to include it in a lesson, there's some examples here. This was a primary school teacher who was doing the topic of symmetry, and she got her learners to look for symmetrical images and then to make an auto collage of them. So by the end, they definitely are able to identify, is the image symmetrical or isn't it? And I'm sure that they'll all remember that from having created the auto collage. This auto collage, the
one at the bottom here,
yes,
with the sunsets.
The one with the sunsets is from that project I mentioned earlier, where learners had to choose some aspect of what makes South Africa special to them, and in addition to making the movie maker thing, they also made auto collages where they selected images and then put them together and created an auto collage. So this child liked sunsets, and that's what he was able to produce.
That's certainly given us a sense or a bigger variety of tools that one could use. Is there anything else that Partners in Learning have? You mentioned that they're free tools, and those are one aspect, but there are other aspects to the Partners in Learning program?
Yeah, definitely. Teacher training is a big component of the Partners in Learning program, and the organisation that I work for, SchoolNet, does a lot of training in South Africa. Microsoft has developed great resources to show teachers how to use ICTs within their professional work. So one of the courses that we offer is the Microsoft ICT Skills for Teachers course, and where that's a great course for teachers is it shows them how to use spreadsheets, word processing, but in applications that are useful to them as teachers. So it doesn't just teach them a range of Excel skills. Instead, it will show them how to use Excel to set up a mark sheet, which is something that teachers need to know how to do. If they can use Excel to quickly calculate averages, to work out the class average, to quickly alphabetize a class list, those are skills that will save teachers a lot of time. And because it's a useful application for teachers, they'll practice it, they'll use it, and they will build their computer literacy through doing work that's useful to them in their jobs.
And this course, or these courses that are part of the Partners in Learning training program, they aren't there just for the high-flying teachers who know all about computers?
No, definitely not. There are a range of courses, and they cover a continuum of learning. So there's something for teachers who are novice computer users. We train many teachers who've never held a mouse before. And then there are more advanced programs for teachers who now have computer skills and now want to start developing project-based learning activities for their learners, or maybe being involved in peer coaching so that they can train colleagues and do some professional developments at their schools to encourage their colleagues to use computers in the classroom.
So it's not just about the technical how to use a program, but these courses are really about how we can use technology to use digital resources in a practical way in the classroom, depending on our environment as well.
Definitely, and I think that's where the Microsoft Partners in Learning and the Intel Teach courses have an advantage over many other sort of courses that somebody might go on to use a computer, in that they show teachers how to use technology to really improve teaching and learning. And once teachers have those basic computer skills, the focus isn't really on the computer skills anymore. Rather, it's around sound pedagogy and how you can take technology and incorporate it into lessons to make learning more engaging, to include those 21st century skills. And technology is really just a means to enhancing really good teaching.
And so as a result of that good teaching or that learning activity, we find that learners are more engaged and they tend to perform better.
Oh, definitely. We have some anecdotal sort of evidence of teachers saying that once they've started to use computers in the classroom, attendance improves. When learners know that that's their day to use the computers, attendance is better than it is on other days in the week. There have been great examples of learners who maybe are not doing that well academically, but when there's suddenly a learning opportunity or a task that uses some technology, they're inspired, they're motivated, so that definitely improves performance. And then technology also enables teachers to do some things more easily than without technology, to communicate with teachers or classes in other countries, to publish the work that learners have done so that they feel like they're doing it for a genuine purpose. So technology really can improve teaching.
And you've talked about it generally as technology, so that doesn't just mean that you have to have high-powered computers, but you could use a mobile device as well?
Definitely. You know, with more people having access to cell phones, particularly cell phones that are smartphones, they can download resources. They can access things like SchoolNet has a Facebook page. We have a Twitter account. So teachers who want to get exposure to those things can find it very easy to access them just using their mobile phone. We've also had some great projects from schools that have got very little in the way of resources, but learners are able to access mobile phones, and even not smartphones, but phones that are able to take photos, to take short video clips that they can then incorporate into sort of something that they want to share with a community. It doesn't need lots in the way of technology. With very little and a creative teacher who really wants to do something, a lot can happen with very little in the way of resources.
Well, Megan, I'm sure that that's really some inspiring stuff there, and I'm sure that there are lots of teachers who are going to be challenged by some of the programs within Partners in Learning. And I know one of those aspects is the Partners in Learning Forum. But before we get on to that, we're going to go to a short break. And after the break, we're going to come back and we're going to discuss the Partners in Learning Forum and how that's evolved over time. And I'm sure we're going to learn and be inspired by some examples from teachers around Africa and in fact around the world who are involved in this particular program, part of Partners in Learning Network. So we'll see you after the break.